Hello, and welcome to Business Watch. I'm your host, Bob Williford, President of the Henderson County Chamber of Commerce. Business Watch is a joint project sponsored by the Chamber and Blue Ridge Community College. Our program focuses on our local Henderson County economy and the economic drivers that make it successful. Our last program focused on real estate trends in the county, and if you missed it, you can watch it on our website, BRCC-TV.org. Today's program will focus on one of our long-standing economic drivers, the summer camp industry. Our guests today are Yates Pharr, Director of Falling Creek Camp and President of the North Carolina Youth Camp Association, and Melissa Fitzgerald, Director of the Girls Camp at Camp Highlander. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, we're here to talk camps, and you know there are camps all over this country.
Right.
But in Western North Carolina, we are known as the Camp Capital USA. Now, Melissa, how do we deserve that reputation? How did we get that designation? Or is it real? Or did we make it up?
No, it's definitely real. It's definitely real. I think with just the fact that there are 17 youth overnight camps in Henderson County alone is just fantastic. And there are 50 overnight camps in the Western North Carolina area and 200 statewide. For a good list of those camps, you can visit northcarolinacamps.com, ncamps.org, ncamps.org.
Now, I guess you can find all these camps online, and I assume everybody has a website. You can find out all the information you need just by...
Right. That particular website lists the camps in this county area, in this 4-county area.
Okay, it's ncamps.org, and it's just the 4 counties, or is it go across the state?
It goes across the state, but most of them right now are in this county, in this particular area.
And that's why we're the camp capital of the USA.
But that that particular website is part of the North Carolina Youth Camp Association, which was started
you're president of it.
And it was formally brought together a little more than a year ago. Even though they've been meeting for a long time, many years, the camp leaders, we really saw the need to get together and become a unified voice, and so that we can respond to challenges that come down the line for our camps, ways that we can be to benefit the economy, and so it's been really nice for us to we created a 501c6 organization, which allows us to actually go to Raleigh and kind of lobby a little bit for things that are important to us.
What kind of things is it that you're working towards? I understand years ago there was an issue with the national parks and some of the fees for using the parks.
Right, user fees are something that they're out there, and they're going to always be there. And I think all of us embrace the fact that we want to be able to use public lands, but a lot of times they also need help from groups like us that use them all the time.
Right. And
so we can be a real help to be a partner with any of the public entities, whether it's a state park, it's a state forest, a national parks are probably not so much used by us.
Okay.
But state forests, things like that.
And is it unusual I mean, a lot of people would think of different camps as being competitors, but y'all are kind of banding together and helping each other?
We are. I mean, it's we were talking earlier that we know each other really well. You could call us competitors, but the reality is it's all about the boys and girls that want to go to camp up here. And so when we talk to families on the phone and find out or meet them when we're traveling around trying, introducing the camps to people, and we'll travel to, I know we have 30 plus states represented at our camp, and Melissa, I think you're in that range too. You were mentioning.
Correct.
But we'll share families that when we start to hear of what they're looking for, we can narrow down their search and actually help them. Oh, well, if you're looking more for a church camp, or you're looking for a specific adventure camp. A lot of the camps that we're mentioning are traditional camps, so they offer just about every program you can think of.
Yeah, that's something we may get into a little bit later, about all the different varieties of camps and what may suit different folks. But one thing that's near and dear to my heart, and a lot of people, is the economic impact of camps.
Right.
And I believe there was a study done in '97,
Right.
which had some very positive numbers about what the camps meant to our community.
Right.
And that was recently updated.
Right. The '97 one was done by Appalachian State University.
Right.
And you're right. There was that question of, okay, this information we know needs to be updated. And so part of what the North Carolina Youth Camp Association did was commission that study. And North Carolina State University was the one that was chosen to do it. And we completed it summer before this. It came out after last summer, after the 2010 summer, excuse me. And it was shocking. We thought that we knew we had an impact, and I say we as a royal we, like all the families and the staff. But in total, for Henderson County, and there was a slide I think that we've got that we can give you, Henderson County had $120 million of impact that the families spend when they come up here to drop off their children or pick them up. So that's 17 camps. And when you look at Buncombe being $103 million and 7 camps, so smaller number of camps, but still a pretty large number. A lot of people end up going to Asheville in some cases. And then Transylvania at $126 million and 14 camps. Jackson being the other county with just a few camps at 11.5. $365 million is not something to pass by as an impact.
And it's $365 million every year.
Every year.
And it probably grows each year.
And interestingly enough, a lot of that happens right in that 10-week period or 12-week period, depending on what the lengths of these seasons are for certain camps. That's a heavy impact. We also looked into, well, first of all, just as a basis to the survey, I was amazed that we got 53,000 plus families to respond with good data to create this survey. And all of the camps were prompted ahead of the summer to strategize on what's the best way to get this information, because it was a long questionnaire.
How many families?
Over 53,000 families. So that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of kids coming.
There's a lot of boys and girls that come up here to camp.
So when I'm go down Main Street and the merchant says, "Yeah, we're having a good summer," part of that's due to the people that are coming in here due to the summer camp.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We love that. That's good, and that includes camper families,
Right.
Employees, people that work at the camps. They get a salary. They spend money in town.
They do. The average amount that a family spends is just over $2,000 when they're here on opening and closing day, when you combine the two. And the average staff person will spend a little more than that over the summer because they have days off.
They go out to eat.
They'll go and buy gear, or clothes. They go out to eat, exactly. So, which was sort of a shocking thing. But interestingly, the tax hit each year positive to, and I say hit, it's more of a revenue. The tax revenue is $33 million. So
that's nice.
Real positive.
Now, and does it also include things like when you upgrade facilities at your camp, when you build possibly a new cabin? Or?
It actually didn't include those things.
Okay.
So when we do capital improvements, there's more on top of that.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's fantastic information. And employment is another thing that we love to talk about, because camps do generate, you have some year-round employees, and then as the season comes, you're certainly adding quite a few.
Right. The study said that there are more than 10,000 jobs created by camps as full-time jobs created. So it was again something that was eye-opening from our side.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And y'all keep, I guess you kind of have a handful of people that stick around a year. I mean, for the full year, because you do have to do marketing. You have sales to fill up the camps. Somebody's got to maintain it.
Yep.
Right. There's recruiting and maintenance and sales and all of those things, just registering campers and hiring staff. And so there's a small team at every camp of staff that operate those year-round operations, but the majority of the staff is in the summer, and so we have to hire those hundreds of people every year.
Well, and y'all got some really specialized jobs. I mean, a salesperson for a camp is not like a salesperson for almost anything else.
No.
I mean, you're going into people's homes and...
We do. We travel. I mean, we find that the best way to do marketing, if you want to call it that, for camps is really friends of families of existing campers are the ones that, for the most part, help us find other campers. And internet does too. But we will travel to various cities. I think Carl, Melissa's father, went to, I don't know, 50 cities or something like that this past year, which is really amazing and job well done on his part. But you can imagine he's going out on behalf of his camp in Henderson County saying this is the place to come here.
It's a chance to see the world.
You're
camp directors.
That's right. And so you get to go into people's, we usually go into people's homes where they host the show, and you've got about half of them are existing families and half are brand new, and it just makes for a nice setting to talk about what's great about camping and what's great about this area.
So it's probably good to have a camper that's from Cancun or
That's right.
some nice
Somebody
place
wants
to
That
to
would
go
be
visit.
nice.
That would be a nice trip to
That would be
do.
a nice trip, yeah.
Some do travel international.
Okay. Now, have you got any international kids at your camp?
We do.
We
You
do.
do?
We do.
Now, and I've always heard this. You've got a boys' camp.
We do.
And you do boys and girls?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, repeat business, I guess, campers that sign up and come back the next year.
Right.
Which, is it the girls are stronger than the boys at doing that, or are they both good?
I hear it's probably a mixed bag. You know, it really depends on the session. Like if you're the early part of the summer, the girls are better returning because the boys have sports that start up right after school's over. And so, you know, it depends, again, if you're looking at the later sessions that maybe the boys are a little better, unless you get really late because we're in the South and football starts up and soccer starts up.
That's
Right.
important.
You've got, so those kind of things affect, you know, the return ratios on those. I mean, we're seeing in the range of 70 to 85% return, you know, on families, which is a really strong thing in the economy, you know, being the way it is, that people, although they may be giving up in their families on what they're spending money on, they're not when it comes to their children.
Which is fantastic.
And your return rate is similar?
Yes, we are very blessed with a great return rate, and I think that has a lot to do with relationships. You know, when you were talking about marketing, you know, camping is not like selling anything else because it's all about relationships, and we have a family-like relationships with the campers and parents and staff that belong to our camp, and so we build those relationships and those connections, and they form a bond with camp, not only with camp, but with Henderson County, with Western North Carolina, and these ties and these bonds, and there's just something that's in their heart that makes them want to keep coming back to experience the same magic and the incredible experience that they had the summer before. It's just, I got to do it again, you know. One more time, Mom, one more time, you know. So it's an incredible thing to be a part of, and
Well, I can
it's
testify.
great.
We had one of ours went to camp for the first time, and the minute she got back, she's talked about, I want to go again. So
Sign me up for next year, and
Yes.
you're like,
it's
okay.
a great experience for her.
Yeah.
Now you go to camp as a camper, and you kind of never age out, because then you become a counselor.
Right.
And in y'all's cases, you come back and buy a camp or own a camp.
We were the
and run a camp.
fortunate few that do get to come back. That's
Right.
exactly right.
Right.
I mean, if you look throughout Henderson County, I think you'll find people all over the place that came here because of camp and are back again,
Absolutely.
working and doing other things.
There are. I mean, you could go basically march down Main Street and you can pick out the people that are here because of their camp experience.
I don't know if y'all do this, but even some camps have kind of an after season for where adults go to camp.
Right.
And then they do interesting things too.
It is.
But now, the economic impact of camps is critically important. And as a Chamber of Commerce, we certainly pay a lot of attention to that.
Right.
But there's also I guess the personal side of camps and how it impacts the kids that attend these camps. I don't know if either of you can address, you know, some of the benefits that the campers get out of attending summer camp.
Right.
The benefits are so many. I think there's individual growth that each camper will experience while they're at camp. Just being away from mom and dad on your own and gaining independence and confidence, building your self-esteem is invaluable. From starting that, no matter what age you get to go to camp, experiencing that as a child before you have to go away to college makes you a more competent individual, and that's an incredible gift that summer camp gives. There's adventure and exploration and opportunity to play and just be a kid that you get to do at camp. There's challenging opportunities and skill building and just incredible activities that camp provides that you don't get to experience maybe if you live in another state or if you don't have a zip wire in your backyard. There's also learning to cooperate with other children, the life skills of compromise and life lessons of learning.
We could all
You
learn a
know, we
little
could
bit of
all
that.
learn a lot of those things.
Maybe we do need to get more adults
Yeah.
together to camp for a little bit.
Just being outdoors and being connected to nature and increased physical activity is so important for kids today. There's just a long number of things that kids benefit from being at camp, and we obviously both feel very passionately about a summer camp experience in the life of kids.
You know, one thing that I found interesting that I've just sort of noticed is that when I grew up in Charlotte, so not too far away from here, but I go back and look at the two neighborhoods that I lived in, and I was able as a young, I know my first neighborhood I moved when I was 10, so younger than 10, I was riding my bike 2-3 miles to Cotswold Mall, which was the close. It's not a mall; it's a strip center. But for me to be able to do that, and my parents be okay with that to ride, versus in today's world, it's not as much. You don't hear about boys or girls traveling miles away from their home when they play, and it's not so much about worry about somebody's going to get my son or my daughter. It's more of what I hear about. It's the traffic or the congestion that's involved in it. And that's just a product of a town growing, or it's not connected. It's and of course towns are working on that, making things more connected. But I just think it's interesting how times have just changed a little bit. But when you come to a camp setting, you do get to go out and you're on your own. You're away from your parents, so you are going to fail, and you're going to learn what it's like to pick yourself up and finish that task. Or how kids can be brutally honest. Not in a way of bullying, but just about interacting. And when you play or when you interact, and especially in a camp setting, you get to do this away from your parents. So there's not that swoop in, take over, and say and stop something. And I say that in a way where it's controlled, but in a good interaction. And so it's nice that we have this camp setting to complement what families really want and their values that they're trying to bring into their sons and daughters, and the experiences that we can give them that they may or may not be able to do at home.
And one of the most valuable things I think in summer camps is also positive role models, and just having those college students or teachers that come and spend their summers at camp that want to make a difference in a kid's life. So when children are looking for that role model to have in their life, they can say, I remember my camp counselor, and what would they do, and how can I turn to them for advice? Children need that today. So
I was going to say, they get a chance to grow up a little bit on their own, and they do have a very supportive atmosphere from the counselors and everybody at the camp to help them hopefully find the right choices and do the.
That's right.
And I understand that sometimes the first couple of days might be rough, but I think our child was a little homesick the first night, and after that it was hard to drag her home when camp was over.
And that's just
sick.
what a great thing to be able to get over. Because it's when you go off to college, if that's what you're going to do, or you go away for your first job, to have the part of separation already dealt with, and you can really be into what you need to be into, whether it's studying or getting your work done. One thing I do want to say is not just about the boys and girls that go there, but we feel just as strong about the staff that we hire. They're typically younger. They're 1 year through college, are generally the youngest staff person that we have. There's a big difference in decision making between that rising sophomore in college and a senior in high school. But when they're there, we feel just as strongly about helping them with the values growth. And when you have a full summer where you're working 12 weeks at a time, to be able to do that and string it all together, it's one of the hardest jobs that they will have had to date, but the most rewarding jobs.
Wow.
And I think it's important. I was an advocate of it even before I was in the camp business. But it's just important, I think, to be able to string together that 12 weeks when you're still in a student, setting, to learn from other people and have these mentors in your life that you wouldn't normally have. Because we walk away with, I still have camp lifelong friends that I still keep up with, all over the place.
I've got a couple other questions, and they're all kind of all over the place. One, you mentioned Facebook.
Right.
And I was thinking electronics and phones, and I'd assume that campers check those at the door. They don't come in and ring.
I don't know of any camps right now, for the most part, that allow any electronics. And you'd think that they would have a problem with that, but they really don't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, they get the old-fashioned face-to-face.
They'll miss it for the first couple of hours, maybe.
Yeah.
Only because it's sort of an easy thing when they're in an unusual setting to want to go to that. But then it's just like you said, it's the old face-to-face and the play, and they really don't.
And the other benefit, yeah, when they get home, they can connect with those people online and still talk.
Absolutely.
The one thing I did want to get to before we run out of time was the affordability of camps and camp access. And if you have an interest in camps, what are you looking at financially, and how do you get into the camps?
Right.
How do you want to start talking about that?
Well, I don't know if one of the both of us. Well, affordability is a big part of being able to go to camp. There's a lot of choices, and they range across the board. If you're looking at Boy Scout, Girl Scout, church camp, YMCA, generally those are going to be a little more affordable, and the $200 to $500 a week range probably is more in there. And when you get into the private camping, you're probably looking at more like $1,000 a week. Okay. But that does include, in all those situations, you're talking about the food, all the activities. Most of these camps are offering 25 to 30 different activities, some even more than that. And for them to have the choice, and camps, like a lot, they want you to, as a child, to learn what it's like to make that choice and decide which programs you're going to do. Right. To have that, it takes a lot of effort on the camp's part to have all those ready to go.
Now, how about scholarships, stuff like that? Are those available?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We actually call them camperships. Okay. in our industry.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And many camps offer, camperships through themselves or some sort of financial aid. And then as well, the Henderson County Youth Leaders Program offers camperships in conjunction with other camps that donate those to the Youth Leaders Program, and to send those kids who otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity. And that's specifically Henderson County children that have an opportunity to go to Henderson County camp. So,
now, if I understand this correctly, it kind of starts with Camp Bob,
right?
Where
they earn the right. Well, what they do is they work with all the schools and different groups in the area that are part of the Henderson County Young Leaders Program, but they'll earn the right to be able to go to Camp Bob, and by leadership and how they act in school, and they set goals, and so they're achieving those, which is really great. And then they go to Bob, and then from there they go to a week-long camp.
Is that the next year? Or
that's the next year. Okay. Once they get past that, then they're eligible for any one of the camps that we run, and we have multiple, and since we're a boys camp, boys that come, and we've really gotten to know them and their families, and we see them as we interact with community events, which is wonderful, and they become part of the camp family. That's and otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it,
Right, and the camps are donating sometimes full scholarships, sometimes half scholarships.
Right.
And the Henderson County Young Leaders Program also helps supplement and get those kids into camp. It's a fantastic program that serves Henderson County.
And it was started here and actually is now serving as a model for other counties and other states to try to do the same thing.
Now, if you're a parent looking for a camp, what are the kind of things that you would want to look for? I guess you want to match the camp to your kids' needs.
Right. So, Melissa, you want to say something about that?
Well,
I mean, you guys know everything.
Right.
So
every camp has different things about them that make them special, or different programs, or single gender, co-ed, boys camp, girls camp, and there, for a great list, you can again go to nccamps.org.
Right.
That offers some in our county, and also for a total list nationwide, that you can go to acacamps.org and do some research about camps and go to websites and learn more about camps. We encourage parents to call the camps, talk to the directors, and even go visit the camps and really take a tour and see. Every director will be more than willing to tell you about camp and what makes their program unique and what sort of activities they offer, and why their program would fit your child. It's important that you find the right camp for your child, and knowing a lot about the program. Most of the camps in our area are traditional summer camps offering a lot of different activities, but there are sports camps, there are art camps, there's horseback riding camps, a lot of different camps out there that might fit a specific child who has a specific interest.
Right. And the good thing about being here in Western North Carolina, Camp Capital USA, is you got lots of choices.
You do.
So that's fantastic. And I would want to mention a couple of things. That you mentioned the Henderson County Young Leaders Program.
Right.
I mean, they have some activities that go on throughout the year. The Barbecue Ball and the Future Legends of Barbecue are two of their big events.
Right, and that's one of their biggest fundraisers, to allow these boys and girls to be able to have the scholarship.
Yeah.
And that's in October, I believe,
No, October 13th.
13th.
And we've competed in the Future Legends, and we've got a couple ribbons, but we hadn't brought a big trophy home yet.
And for those that don't know, Future Legends it's a barbecue contest where you have to have young members on your team, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Starting at dark and really early dark, and going through until that late afternoon before you're judged. And just one more way of showing good leadership, but it's a fun way to raise money for that wonderful organization.
And the Chamber of Commerce has Camp Field Day, which will be in May, and it kind of kicks off the season. A good way to go and visit a camp and experience some of those things.
Allows these a lot of the businesses here in Henderson County to be able to come out and team up and
climb walls and go off blocks,
paddle boats
and do those wonderful things.
That's right.
Yes.
We're just about out of time. Yates, thank you very much. Melissa, thank you.
Thank
Hope you all have
Thank
a
you.
great camp season.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We're
you
looking
very
forward to
much.
it.
I appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you for all that you do for us too, as well.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
For $365 million a year. Economic impact, we'll do a lot for you.
Sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Business Watch. We hope you will tune in again next time. And thanks to Blue Ridge Community College, BRCC-TV, and the Chamber.